Hey guys, Sarah and Brandon here from harmoniousduo.com.
Hello.
And we're so excited to be here in front of you today to have another conversation that can hopefully provide you guys with enough value to help you overcome any challenges that you may be experiencing with your business. And
That's
so
right.
the reason why we wanted to come and talk to you guys today is because, if you guys are stuck in your business and you're not getting the results that you want for it, chances are you're not getting those results because there's an imbalance in your marketing. And that's what we wanted to talk with you guys about today is balancing out your marketing to where you're not chasing the people that you want to come into your opportunity, but you're having, because you've balanced everything out, you have more of them coming to you. So instead of you having to go and spend so much time, chasing after people and being like, please just listen to what I have to say. I have an amazing opportunity. It'll change your life. Now you have, because you've positioned yourself and you've balanced everything out, you've got more people coming to you, which also actually ends up giving you more time freedom to work on other areas of your business.
Yeah, and it's almost like a pre-screening process for those instead of having to deal with unwanted people who really don't want to hear what you have to say. Using this method that we're going to teach you today, and then actually knowing the difference between the two, is going to be able to help you build a better business and a stronger business, kind of filled with an infrastructure that's going to be stronger than any other way that you could build it. Because without knowing these two things, I can guarantee that your business is going to struggle. We kind of found out throughout our journey as marketers that and business entrepreneurs that there's certain ways to do things that successful people do, and there's certain things that unsuccessful people do. And we were very taught at an early stage that success leaves clues, and you've got to follow those clues. And one of those clues is being able to understand the difference between these two marketing strategies. And before we get into the big nuts and bolts about what we're going to talk to you about today and share with you, because I mean, these two things have changed the way that we do business. They restructure our mind thoughts to where when we actually prepare for an ad or a meeting or anything like that, it comes to fruition in a whole different manner. And it's exciting to be a part of once you can actually implement these things and you see your business just take off to a whole new height. So,
well, the cool thing that I want to add about that is that, yes, it does. Whenever it actually clicks, when that moment of aha actually hits you and you suddenly realize what these two different types of marketing are, as well as how to balance them out and use them correctly. Not only, does it start applying to the ads you put out, the statuses you put up on your social media profiles, or the types of images you use and the messaging and all of that stuff, but it actually kind of seeps into your personal life as well, because it kind of shifts the way you even talk to people, period, like just across the board, which I think is really cool because, if you're building a business online, it's really easy to get stuck in thinking everything is online, if that makes any sense. So whenever you transition and you start talking to people offline, you can kind of get stuck in that phase where you're treating the people who are sitting right next to you as though you're talking to them online. And that can kind of, there's a disconnect there because you're treating them as though they're on a computer screen when they're right in front of you. And one of the benefits that we've learned from balancing out these two types of marketing is that it does transition into your personal life to where you can change up even the conversations you have with people, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So
those who stick around to the very end and make it to all the way to the very end of this and listen to everything that we have to say, because it's filled with tons of value. We do encourage you to pull out some notes with this one, because these are some serious valuable tips. We'll go next, we're going to drop on you. And before we do, we just want to share a little bit about us so that you can, whoever's new to this, can see exactly where we're coming from. Yeah. Why is it that we feel that we have the authority to even to share this valuable information with you today? And, start it off. We'll start off with Sarah. Go ahead.
Actually, I was going to let you start today.
Okay. Well, my journey began for me when I was about 16 years old. And I've always had that entrepreneurial spirit, but I didn't really understand what that meant to get a business started. I never knew what it was going to actually take of me. And I didn't know exactly where to even begin. So I just basically, the best of my knowledge, when I brainstormed myself and I was thinking in my own head, well, what can I do, Brandon, to make money every day? What can I do to kind of be in charge of my own time? And what can I do to just make as much money as I can right now? I wasn't really involved or even thinking about impacting the world or doing anything like that because I was 16 years old. I just moved out. I was trying to make things work. So I had found that the restaurant industry was probably my best way out. And then as working, year after year after year, I just started I told myself that I would like it so that I wouldn't go to work angry. And then you start to actually believe that. So you start to tell yourself, I'm happy with where I'm at. and you believe that. But then you see other people living life the way that you honestly thought you could live once you started doing what you were doing. So for me, the reason why I got into, the restaurant industry was for more freedom during the week, because I knew that you could make, as much money in 4 hours that some people make in a full day, or maybe even 2 days, or maybe even a week. It didn't matter where you work, no matter what kind of day it was, and all those kind of hopes and prayers every single day. So after years and years of doing that, I found out that, I've got an entrepreneurial spirit. I got to build a business. So I went to work on, building my real estate. So my real estate career, I got licensed as a realtor at the age of 20, but it didn't go anywhere because I didn't have any leadership. We've known and realized more in the past 2 years about what it takes to be good leaders and how important leadership is to any person's business than we ever have before. And anybody right now who's struggling in any business doesn't have a mentor. That's one thing I'll share with you right now, is to go find somebody that you trust, that you can listen to, that you respect, because they've been where you're going. And they will be willing to share it with an eager soul who will do anything that they say because they know that it works for them. And so it took me until I was about 25 before I found anything better. So I was struggling in my real estate business for about 5 years. And in that meantime, I was trying to start up businesses left and right, but they were all failing. And it was mainly because of the fact that I didn't know where to begin. I had no leadership. I had no mentor. I didn't even want to ask for help because I didn't know what I didn't know. So I didn't realize that I was hurting myself by not asking for help. You always want to be that man that does everything yourself. That's a very negative way. That's a broke mentality, actually. And that'll keep you from doing big things in the future. So you want to just get rid of that if that's anything that you're feeling right now. But by the time I was 25, I was still working in the restaurant industry. So mind you, from 16 to 25, that's a decade of me being involved with entrepreneurial ventures where I'm opening up businesses and I'm being a part of startups and I'm doing things that I thought were going to make me money, and they all failed. But yet I'm still eager and I'm still hungry. So I'm 25. And I meet this beautiful, beautiful woman who's now the mother of my daughter. And we're just, it's amazing. I couldn't be happier. And I found that in the restaurant business. So there's this silver lining with all this. But at the moment that I found her, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be this man who's going to be, I'm not going to be here at 60 years old wondering if I'm still going to get a good section today. If I'm still clocking in for somebody else's dream at the age of 60, I made some bad choices in my life. That's how I feel. I'm not judging anybody else, but I'm just saying that me personally, in order to impact the world, it's very hard to do that when you're living somebody else's dreams. You don't have time to do things for yourself because they own your time, And so when that actually got to me in a sense where I was like, I could actually do this. I'm going to take a leap of faith and I'm just going to go ahead and get out of this. I'm never going to fill out another application ever again. And what it led me to was actually poker. By all means, I live here in Las Vegas, so it was one of the things that I latched onto when I learned how to play a few years before that. And I just said, you know what, I've done it as a hobby. I'm going to go full force with this because I know that I could do what it takes, or I have what it takes, and I could do it. I see other people with less talent doing this, making tons of money. So I could do this too. And I thought that same thing. And when I did, I took the leap of faith, and we had a great amount of success in the first couple of years. It was amazing. We had a great amount of success. And then we got the wonderful news of her being pregnant with our daughter. And that just kind of threw me down for it put me into something that I'd never been. Yeah. I'd never experienced something like that because my game was real strong. And then it just went down to the toilet. And I had experienced just loss after loss after loss, and losing session after losing session. And then next thing you know, it was like a couple months in, and I'm sitting here crying to her, literally talking about, I know I'm better than this. I know I'm not a bad player, but these are things that poker players deal with. It's people that entrepreneurs deal with. When you put all your investment into a business and it tanks, it hurts. The only difference was I would put all my investment into a session. Do you get what I mean? So it would not all mine, but I would put money into a session, I would lose. I feel the same way as somebody who just tried to build up a business with all their savings. It's the same thing. You come home with less than what you started. And I went to work. That's a painful, painful way to make a living. But I decided that, you know what, it's still a love of mine and I want to continue to make it happen. And the only way for me to do this and live a passion of mine is to create something that I could do from home while I'm still being a main influence in my family. So instead of me spending 18 hours at the poker tables trying to feel like, oh, well, I'm doing my job because I'm providing, why not find something that I could actually be there for my family while I'm providing? That was a big breakthrough for me when I had that moment of realization that said, you know what, this is possible. I could actually make this happen where I don't have to be apart from my family. I don't have to separate myself. I could actually do things with my fiance that's going to create an income, build our relationship together, and make our family stronger, and do that while we're traveling the world. I mean, that's something that I've always wanted to be a part of. She's always wanted to be a part of. And I'd say majority of the world would love to spend time with their loved ones traveling the world while they're making money. I mean, I just think that that's a big, big, big breakthrough to understand that the things that we were taught when we were younger, the things that led me into the restaurant industry are not the things that led me into being an entrepreneur for myself. They're completely different. I ended up having an awakening. You know, you end up getting around people who are very successful, and it makes you think different. It gets you to think like how successful people think. And there's a reason why successful people are just that. And so before I ramble on for a million hours, you know, that's where we're at right now. And we started this business about 18 months ago. And so she'll go ahead and discuss, you know, a little about herself and where we are right now.
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, I got lost in his story. It's always so nice to reminisce about, you know, when we first got together. But yeah, so I'm very different. I was always raised in an environment that was, you know, very college driven. So from a very early age, you know, I've always been a bookworm. I've always loved writing. I've loved like learning new things. And so naturally my family was always attached to that and, you know, pushed me into going to college. You know, it was the only way to be successful is to get a good job. But the only way to get a good job is to get a degree. And the only way you can get a degree is to go to college. And for someone like me who loved learning things but didn't like the school environment, that wasn't exciting for me. Like I can tell you with complete honesty that when I graduated high school, I remember so vividly, I was sitting in, my high school class was so large, we had to rent out the Reliant Stadium from where I'm from in Texas, because my graduating class was over 2,500 students. I remember sitting there in that graduation ceremony, surrounded by all my friends, surrounded by people who I had still managed to never meet because our class was so big, and just watching everyone be so excited about the fact that they were graduating and they're getting their diplomas, they're collecting their scholarships, they're about to transition into their college life. And me sitting there looking around being like, I'd rather be like, I'd rather be sleeping, or like there was no fulfillment in my graduation ceremony because there was no meaning behind graduating because I didn't want to go to college. And typically you're excited to graduate high school because you know you want to go to college. You know you want to transition into that next phase of your education. I did not. So, you know, as a result, there was no meaning behind my graduation. It left me feeling very empty. And so because I was directionless, I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to work like in a cubicle.
Who does? Honestly.
I had no idea what I wanted to do. So I kind of just wandered. I was always working in the restaurant industry as well as the childcare industry because, you know, I'm one of 5 kids. I have a very large family. So I've been around kids, helping to raise kids and educate them from the time that I was 9 years old. And, you know, those were the only things that I really knew was waiting tables and educating kids. And so,
was that scary? Is that scary for you to only know that those are those 2 things that?
Absolutely. It didn't really strike me at first of how scary that was, you know, because I'm young, I don't really care. Money is money, you know what I mean? You're just trying to, you know, make it to Friday. You're trying to make it to payday so that you can enjoy the weekend. And so at the time, I didn't really care. As long as it wasn't in a cubicle, I was good. But it did come to a point where in my life, I think I was around maybe 23. It was right before I came here to Vegas where I realized like, okay, something's not working for me anymore. I still don't really know what I want to do. I just know that I don't want to be a server anymore. Like I don't want to be it, because as I had mentioned this in one of our previous hangouts, you know, there was a moment where the restaurant I was working at the time, we did have a lady who was like somewhere between her 50s and 60s who was working there because she had to. Like, it wasn't because she was bored, because she was retired and she just wanted something to fill her time. No, she was talking about like how she had to be there because her retirement was not enough to supplement her living like just an average lifestyle. And so she had to come to work, and the only thing she knew was waiting tables, because it was either that or being a greeter at Walmart. And I remember when she told me that just like not only broke my heart, but it made me kind of nauseous, because I remember watching her and realizing like, oh my God, that's me.
In a world full of opportunities.
I'm gonna be her age, waiting tables, asking if you want fries with that. And that was my moment of realization where I realized, oh, okay, I need to do something different. But, you know, of course, when I would go and have conversations, it was always, well, Sarah, you need to go to college. You need to finish your education. You need to go start classes. No, I don't want to. I don't think you're listening to me. And it was very frustrating. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to go to Vegas. All my friends were going at the time, and they were saying it was a great way to make a lot of fast cash. So I thought, okay, well, I'll go to Vegas for the summer during the peak of tourist season. I'll make a lot of money. I'll come back home to Texas, and I'll start my life all over. Still not knowing what I was going to do. And things fell through. Even though I had a plan, I didn't plan for, unintended variances in the plan. And so one of which was the fact that the job I had secured for myself fell through right when I got there. And so that led me into the service industry again, which is actually where we met. And it was always very intriguing to me when we first met because of how different he was. He was the one who got me to tap in to see that I could be something different, that I could actually consider doing something for myself and it not be such a crazy idea. Because to be honest with you guys, I will be completely honest. Before I met him, I had never, ever in my wildest dreams thought that I could ever do something for myself, like in terms of a business. My family was always, oh, go be a journalist, go be a photographer, go be, my family, once I hit like 22, they were very adamant that I should go into politics, which thank God I didn't do, because that's just stressful. If you watch the news and you see what happens with politicians, like I didn't want to be a part of that.
It's terrible. I wouldn't be married to that. That's for sure.
I don't think I would either. So thankfully I didn't go down that route because, I had him to show me that I could actually think bigger for myself. And so like him, I thought, okay, well, I really enjoy baking from scratch. And I really like making people happy that way. I've always been that kind of person who, if I take the time to cook for you or bake for you, that's my way, one of my ways of showing that I'm affectionate towards you, that I care about you as a person, and, I want to see you happy. So I thought, okay, well, let's build a business out of that. And, like Brandon mentioned, you don't know what you don't know. And obviously I did not know how to build a baking business. I was teaching everything to myself, like that leadership, that guidance, that mentorship wasn't there because, well, one, I didn't even think to look for anybody.
Right. And a lot of people watching this are in that same thing.
Yeah. Like it's just not something you think about, at least not for me anyway. And so
I'm guilty.
It tanked. It didn't really go anywhere. And during our journey together, we were going down that route of helping me with a baking business. There was a food truck. There was an indoor go-kart business that, we were building, and
it was better than go-karts, but yes, we won't get it. It's trophy trucks. Anybody who knows about trophy trucks.
That's a totally different hangout.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, we made attempts to build businesses for ourselves because we were adamant that we wanted something that could allow us to have the time freedom as well as the financial freedom to do what we wanted, when we wanted, with whoever we wanted, and not have to worry about, well, how many hours am I going to have to make up at my office or at my job to make up for the time that I'm away? We wanted something that was ours. Our attempts, of course, were not, very successful, but
our dream has always been alive. We have never given up at all. And that's what it takes. If you have that given up spirit, then you're never going to make it. You have to be committed to the overall big picture, to the overall dream. Like, for us, our dream was so that we could have the time and the financial freedom. It was so that we could both be stay-at-home parents, being the main influence in our daughter's life. It was so that we could build a strong family unit because, with us, we strongly believe that if you intend to build a strong community, like, with the area that you live in, then in order to do that, it all chunks down to the family unit. If you can start with a strong family unit, then you can ripple out from there. That's how we felt, is one of the first steps that you can take to changing and impacting the world is with the family unit. And so, but in order to do that, like, both parents have to be present and influencing their children for the better. Well, I mean, unless one parent isn't actually like alive. I mean, not taking away anybody's, like that. But ideally, you want both parents. And so, we were committed to making that happen. And so we were ready to try things, but
it did get to a point where things were so financially stressful for us that, you know, like Brandon was saying, he was crying because he was upset over the fact that he was putting in so much time and effort and skill into the poker table, and it wasn't yielding the rewards that we knew we deserved, and our businesses weren't working. He was adamant that he wasn't going to go back and fill another job application. I was adamant I was not going to do that again. And, you know, for me at that time, because our daughter was born at this point, you know, I'm crying at night, cuddled up you know, I'm trying to cry quietly because I don't want to wake him, because I don't want to stress him out with my concerns. But, you know, there were many times where I was crying and my heart was breaking because, you know, I was considering the prospect of having to put Savannah in daycare, which I was adamant I would never do, just so I could go get a job to help contribute to our finances, because things were just not working at the time. And that's when our major realization happened, was, okay, the fact that we've come to this point where we're considering these options is not okay. We really have to look for something different, you know. And there's that old saying that when a student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I don't want to say it was overnight, but things clicking for us it felt like it happened overnight, because as soon as we made the commitment that we were ready for something different, that's when we were presented with our opportunity. And we, you know, of course we talked about it. We did our research. We were very diligent with the opportunity, but we made the commitment. We decided.
I was ready actually to get in as soon as possible. She wanted to.
I'm the research freak. I have to do research on everything.
I gave her my credit card the moment that I said, look, after you do your research, whatever you say, if it's good, let's do it. If it's not, then,
yes,
you know, I'm going to trust you.
Yeah, and to be honest, the reason for that is because Brandon has always been very risk driven, whereas
very direct, which is going to be exactly what we're about to get into.
Yeah, whereas I come from a background of playing it safe and being conservative, and, you know, don't take too many risks and things like that, because, you know, you have to play it safe. You can't risk your security. And so hence why I was like the research queen, and he's like, whatever, just go buy it.
We'll make it work. That's the way it is. That's the way I've always been, you know. And that's the way, when you see value in something, you know. It's like with her. First moment I saw her, I laid my hands on her, I knew that there was something there, and I wasn't going to give up for anything. Same thing with anybody else. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's how you are. How you are with anything is how you are with everything.
Yes.
So you just want to make sure that you pay attention to little small things like that, because if you're not willing to fight for your woman, what makes you think you're going to fight for your business?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
Won't. And so, yeah, so, you know, we got into this opportunity, and we're now going on 18, I think maybe 19 months. And during this journey, of course, we've had to learn the skills necessary to build our business, the skills necessary to step into those leadership roles and build teams, and you know, do everything that needs to be done to build a sustainable long-term business that not only, you know, supports our vision and our dream, but one that's big enough that it can support everyone's dream of people who make the decision to come in and follow this path with us.
That's right.
And so one of the things that we had to learn during these 18, 19 months is balancing the types of marketing. And there's two types. There's direct and there's indirect. And that's what we wanted to talk to you guys about today, is balancing out the indirect and the direct.
Yeah. And so if you are, like she said, if you're stuck in receiving those, or, you know, seeing those results that you really want, it could be because of this imbalance. I know that in the beginning stages of our business, and a big thing that we teach the new team members coming in is to find your strengths and to work on those strengths. Now, if that seems a little bit confusing, what we mean is that if you were, say, a more direct person, if you love being able to just tell people exactly how it is and say, look, follow me, I'm here, this is what's going to happen.
Do it now.
Then don't work on something that's going to, that you're at like a 2 at. You know, if you're like at an 8, if you seem to be at the top or upper echelon of being able to be in that direct portion of things, then either partner up with somebody who's indirect, or just kind of make that a smaller portion of your business. Because if you were to master that one thing, you're going to be able to compensate for that balance. Do you get what I mean? Because you don't have to be 50-50. When we mean balance, you don't have to be 50-50.
Yeah. What we mean by that is finding the harmony within the team that you're building. So like he said, if
and the business and the product and service and all that.
If you're an 8, right, with a certain skill set, instead of spending all of your time focusing on the one skill that's the reverse side, and that's maybe like a 2, instead of spending all your time focusing on the 2 and making that an 8, what
which
you
will never
wanted,
happen.
what
You
you
can
would
never
want
make
to
a 2A.
do. Well, yeah, pretty much. What you would want to do is focus on your 8, right? Make that the best 8 that you can possibly do, maybe shift it to a 10. And while you're working on bringing up your strength, that's when you can bring in other people to harmonize with,
who are better than you in that area,
who are an 8 at what maybe you're at a 2 at.
That's
Does
right.
that make sense?
That's right. That's right. And so like in our case, the reason why I mentioned that is because my strength is definitely not with the attraction marketing or the indirect marketing. Okay. Like
so
that,
direct.
that is, I shouldn't say it's not one of my biggest strengths. Like how we said, why am I going to focus on something or put all of my energy into something that I'm like a 4 or 5 at? I'm missing something there, and it'll happen for me because I'm studying and I'm getting better at it. But it's in a balanced proportion to what I'm actually spending my time and focusing on. So mind you that if I were to put in an hour into my strength, I have no problem putting in 15 minutes into something else that's going to help build up that to offset and balance exactly what I'm doing. That's what we're talking about, being able to create that balance. And with me and her, I learn things from her every day because she's my partner, and she's a lot better at that attraction marketing, at that, I'm not going to really tell them what I'm doing. They're just going to come to me and try and ask me because I've done that good a job and created that much curiosity to be able to get them to just go and wonder, okay, well, what it's like,
what are you doing?
And what's it going to be like to work with her? What's it going to be like to do this? And that's one thing that I'm learning how to do right now, is getting better with that, because I'm more of an in-your-face kind of guy. I love to be able to say, look, you know what? Are you serious about making more money? Hey, look, are you serious about improving your lifestyle? Hey, look, are you serious about doing this? Because if you are, then you're going to be comfortable taking, or not comfortable, but you're going to be determined to move forward and take certain actions.
And he's direct in like every aspect of his personality. And so one of the big mistakes that we made, which most likely you could be making at this moment as well, if the reason why you were attracted to coming onto this hangout was because you were questioning if your marketing was balanced or not, chances are it's because you're making the same mistake. And what we did for a long time was, we knew that I'm more of like a team player. I'm more of a let me help people, more of the attraction type of marketing. And so he's more direct. He's like, okay, I want results. Give me. And so one of the things that we did for a long time, which harmed our business and our results as well as our team, was the fact that we spent so much time with him bringing down his directness and trying to harmonize it with bringing up his indirectness, and vice versa with me, bringing down my indirectness and bringing up my directness, that we were arguing all the time and
we were seeing no results,
none whatsoever. Because for me, direct with my personality, it goes against a lot of the way that I operate. And with him, being indirect violates a lot of his personality.
And she's working on it just as well as I am, just as well as you should.
Mm-hmm. But the thing that we realized was that the big breakthrough for us was when we finally admitted that, what, he doesn't have to compensate for his directness by being so indirect, because I already do that. And just like I don't have to focus on being so direct because he does that. So we've finally balanced it out and harmonized our 2 types of marketing, because we finally came together and made the realization that he is what he is, I am what I am. And when we put the 2 together, they make a complete picture. They make a complete style of marketing. And that's when things started gelling for us. That's when things started bringing in, more results for us, was when we made that realization.
That significant realization. And that's why if you're kind of new to the whole, network marketing or business building or online business or whatever it is, whatever opportunity you're involved in, period, it all comes down to team building and communication. And that's the biggest thing in how you're communicating to your buyers or future buyers, your prospects. It really does matter. And so like with being able to know the difference between these 2 and figure out where your strengths lie and figure out how you're going to team up with certain people who are strong where you're weak and can, supplement that with you or for you. Of course, that might cost you a little bit of money. That might cost you a little bit of time. That might cost you, some kind of trade-off. Okay. Because, nothing in life is going to be for free, but understand it's well worth it. Like I said, when I was playing poker, the one thing that got me out of playing poker so excited to leave, even though I loved the game, was because there's no team unity. I loved playing in high school. I loved playing football. I loved it because of the unity, the camaraderie, the fact that I had somebody that I could rely on and somebody who could rely on me. Not just because it was a selfish factor, but because it was good for the team. And when you do that, it builds something inside you that it sparks something that makes life just a little bit happier to be around. You know, make people notice it, your business people notice it, and it leads and bleeds through into your marketing. And when you could do that, everybody around you is going to want to be a part of what you have, because they're going to see that you're living differently. They're going to not know what it is. They're going to be like, what the heck is going on? I don't know what's making this guy talk different, look different, feel different, but I want to be a part of it because I see it and it's got to be true.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we're working on with our hyper blend of being both of us, because you can't get that, what I just explained to you, by being only on one side of the fence. Because without, like we're about to get into right now, the big thing that we've been able to reference this to is a book by Gary Vaynerchuk, who is one of our biggest mentors. You know what I mean? Like he's if you're not following Gary V right now, you're missing out on a ton of value, because he has one of the craziest ways to break through to people and communicate in a way that is a super like hyperbolic blend between the two. Yeah. It just is like, you know what? I'm going to hit you with that. What's the book called, babe?
Jab, 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 right hook.
And that's exactly what it is. He hits you with just like that jab, 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 right hook.
Whatever type of business you are in, okay, doesn't matter what you sell, what products you serve.
And we don't make a commission on
anything
this.
Like this. Yeah, this is totally like not affiliated, but this thing should be like your marketing Bible, if not one of them. This thing is amazing, especially for social media. But you know, before we get into like the book, I just want to maybe clarify direct versus indirect, maybe give you guys like an example of what we're talking about, because that'd probably be a little helpful. We we can get a little excited and a little off track, but direct, basically whenever we're referencing direct marketing, we're referencing literally you chasing people. That's what we mean. You having to go out and actively pursue your customers, you having to spend so much time, energy, and resources instead of building your business as a whole, essentially working for your business. And, you know, it's like an example for social media, because if you've got a business, you should be on social media. There's no reason why there's no excuse as to why you shouldn't. Right.
And by social media, you should be like you should be marketing on social media.
Yeah. And so like an example of direct marketing that maybe you might resonate with or understand a little bit more clearly would be going to someone's profile page and seeing their cover photo in the like cover header, and it's saying, you know, I've got the most amazing money-making opportunity. Let's make tons of cash. Click the link below to find more. And there's like floating cash everywhere on the picture. That's very direct marketing. There's no mystery. There's no, air of, illusion. There's nothing attractive. It's like very in your face. It's very off-putting. And, it can have a negative backlash because, someone who may.
And that's not the only way of direct marketing.
Yeah, no, it's not, but that's the most common example.
Direct marketing, we actually work for a direct sales marketing company. So it's not a negative thing to be a direct sales marketer.
If you are selling a product, if you're selling a product, or if you're an employee at a store who sells a product for someone else, that's direct selling, because you have to have direct communication with the potential buyer and you have to make a sale. That's direct sale. That's direct marketing. Now, the reason why that can have kind of a negative impact if you are so aggressive and you haven't harmonized that with the indirect is because it can be so off-putting for people that they're just like, oh my God, you're that guy. Oh God, like Billy's coming, quick, run to the end, like pull out your phone, like act like you're busy. You know what I mean? When people find you as a nuisance, they definitely don't want to conversate with you. They like kind of want nothing to do with you because you're, like I said, like that person. That's like a sign that perhaps you've been directly marketing a bit too aggressively.
Yeah.
And whereas indirect is more of getting people to come to you, like he said earlier. For example, on social media, instead of having that like gigantic banner that says, oh, I've got the most amazing money-making opportunity. We can make tons of cash together. Click the link below to find out more and have like all that, money floating around. An example of indirect marketing would be to have like a cover photo of, say, you speaking on stage at your company's event. Does that make sense? And what it's doing is it's positioning you as an authority figure, because people come and they see you're on a stage, and people associate those on stage as someone of authority. And so instead of having like, cash flashing in their face, you've now positioned yourself as someone who they'll look at and see, well, like, why are they standing on stage? Why are they giving a speech? They must be pretty important. Here, I want to learn more. And what they'll do is they'll be so intrigued because you're not being so direct that it just amps up their curiosity. You know, there's that phrase, curiosity kills the cat. That's what indirect marketing is all about, is that you're amping up people's curiosity about what you do, who you are, how are you able to make money? Because I see you posting like all these amazing things about how you're able to travel the globe, you're able to spend time like doing whatever you want. Like, what the heck do you do to make money? Because I'm at a 9 to 5 and it blows, you know. And when you get to the point where people are coming to you and asking you, what do you do to make money? Like, I want to know. I'm so intrigued. I have to know, to where they chase you down and practically tackle you, wanting to know the information that you have to give them. That's indirect marketing.
Another way to put it for men out there, because another word is to be able to understand a boxing metaphor, which is the jab, jab, jab.
Yes.
Right hook.
Almost right.
Okay, that's the whole reason why we're talking about this. Okay,
yes.
So a lot of it has to do exactly what she said with, you know, warming them up and doing things like that. But imagine if you're a boxer, and in order to get somebody to do what you want them to do, which is to lay down, right? You want them to get knocked down. You want them to be done for the 10 count and be out for the count, right? No chance at responding back and doing anything else that's going to fight back against your cause. Well, that's what he's able to create. He's able to warm them up with just a nice little jab. And what we mean by that is not actually going out there and hitting them. What we mean is, right, what she's talking about, what we're talking about is being able to do what she's doing. So basically, if you can imagine her, she is the jab. She is the jab. That's right. And I am the right hook. That's why we work so well together. She's going to sit there and warm them up and warm them up and warm, because she's not comfortable asking for the sale. She's not comfortable saying, look, you know what? All this value that we've just given you, has it helped you and your business make more money? Well, yes, it has. Okay, well, then you need to purchase more of our products so you can get further success. That's that disconnect that a lot of people have when it comes to asking for the sale. They just feel something inside of them that's stopping them. Well, if you aren't comfortable with that and you still want to see results in your business, you've got to be able to find somebody who's going to knock people out. And that's what I mean by that right hook. You've got to be able to have people coming in and say, look, what she just did, what we just did was valuable, was it not? Well, yes, it was. Okay, well, you need to purchase our products up to this level or whatever it is that you need to get right now, because when you do, the access, the information that you're going to get is going to take your business, what you just learned, the results you've just seen, multiply that, add to that, do whatever it is, because it's going to get better for you. And once you can ask for that sale, it makes everything else worth those jabs actually meaningful. Because all you're going to do all day without asking for that right, without giving them that right hook, all you're doing is just sitting there just playing with them all day. And then what happens when somebody else comes through with the right hook?
They'll buy from someone else.
You just warmed them up.
For someone else.
You just did all this work.
Which is what I was doing for like such a long time with our business, because like he said, even though I hate that he called me out like that on a hangout, is I would warm them up and like prime them. They were so perfectly ready for a sale. And because like he said, you know, just the way my personality works, the way that I operate, there's like something inside me that's like,
and she's not alone in this.
Don't ask them for their money. Like, no, just keep giving them value. Just keep giving them value. You know what I mean? Because that's like, I guess, the team orientation in me. I'm still working on that.
They call it, no. You can tell them what they call you.
I don't think I want to.
Okay. Maybe we'll save that for another hangout. But yes.
Yeah. And so what would frustrate him to no end was he would like, you know, go through some of like the conversations that I would have with people on Facebook, and he'd be like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. You set them up so perfect. And then he'd scroll down and he's like, where's the sale? What just happened? Like, why'd you let them go? And
it's because it's not even about the money, because she's absolutely right. It's just about the fact that they're going to go now and get to work with somebody else because of what they learned from Sara.
Because I was so, this was all happening during the time where we were so busy trying to bring up his indirectness and trying to bring up my directness, that there was so much friction happening that we weren't gelling the way we were supposed to. That balance, that harmony we were talking about wasn't there, because we were so focused on building up things in ourselves that didn't fluctuate with the way that we operate. And so, you know, in terms of like the jab, 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 right hook, if you were to take it as direct and indirect, what Gary Vaynerchuk is talking about the reason why he titled it jab, 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 right hook is because think of it this way, think of it as indirect, 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 direct. So what you would do is you would set the stage, right? You would prep your potential buyer, and instead of like, for example, if he wasn't my partner, if he wasn't my fiance, he was just someone who was attracted to my profile on Facebook, for example, and he wanted to know more, about what I was doing, because like I said earlier, he was intrigued by the fact that I seem to be posting and talking about things that he wants. And what he's done is he started to message me. Well, what I would do is, I looked at your eyes and I lost my train of thought. During the conversation, instead of as soon as he asks me, instead of immediately going for the kill and just like totally squashing any opportunity of making a sustainable sale, what would happen is, he would message me, and then I would keep bringing the conversation back to him so that I could learn more about what issues he's actually facing, so I can properly connect him with a product that will help him overcome that challenge, instead of just throwing everything at him and things that he's not interested in.
And that does so many things. It does so many things. It shows that you care. It shows that you're aware of their problem. And it shows that you're actually a problem solver instead of a salesman. Because people will not buy from you twice if they feel like you sold them. And people don't want to get sold.
No.
They want to buy from people who are going to be there to provide the value from them from the long haul. I know that me personally, I bought my car from one dealership, and I will continue to buy my car from that dealer as long as I live here in Las Vegas, because of the way they've done business with me.
He does. He actually has a very good relationship with not only the dealer whatever you call the car salesman who sold him his car, but he actually has a very good relationship with people in the service department as well, because of the fact that they're so focused on providing the ultimate value based off his needs and his challenges that he does. He will not go anywhere else. And it's funny because, when he got his car, because of the way that the relationship he's built with them, they tried to sneak me over from my dealer, but because I have my relationship with my dealer, whatever. Yeah. But basically, like what would happen during this conversation is, because of the fact that, like he said, I'm getting to know more about him, I'm becoming more aware of what his core problems are.
They're going to have a customer for life. They're going to have a team member for life.
What would happen is, during this conversation, all I'm doing by learning more about him and getting him to dig deeper is, that's me doing my little jabs, right? Now, I've already given my jabs on my post. That's what intrigued him to come to me in the first place. And during this conversation, I'm setting up the final jabs, because I'm getting to know more about what his real struggles are. And then the second that he realizes and confides in me what his genuine core struggle truly is, why he's interested in looking for something that I have to offer, that's typically when you come in with the right hook. Now, because of the fact that we've made that realization that, okay, well, I'm better at jabbing and he's better at right hooking, as soon as I realize that a customer is at that position, that's when I come and get him. And I'm like, hey, they're all ready. Go give them the right hook. Let's make a scene, let's do what we got to do.
Let's bring them on the team,
Yeah. And so, I just I wanted to give you guys like a real life example of direct versus indirect. I think it was about a month ago, we had a flock of about 20 ducks that were just chilling on our street. And our daughter, Savannah, loves ducks. And so she wanted to go outside and play. So we're on our street, and Savannah, she just keeps chasing the ducks. She just wants to play with them. And every time she goes to chase the ducks, they fly away. And it was funny because it was frustrating the daylights out of her. And she just kept wanting to know, like, why won't the ducks play with me? Why won't they play with me? Why won't they play with me? And so we kept telling her, honey, you have to stop chasing the ducks. You have to stop chasing the ducks. And the moment that we gave Savannah a piece of bread, right, which is something that the ducks wanted, and she stood still and she stopped chasing them. I'm not kidding. I have a video where the ducks lined up in an actual bread line, and they were coming to Savannah, chasing her down, because they finally saw that Savannah had something they wanted. So instead of her spending so much time chasing the ducks and not getting anywhere with them, she now had 20 of them chasing her down, wanting what she had. That is direct versus indirect. When you are spending more time chasing people and not seeing results, versus positioning yourself to where you've attracted people to come to you, And you don't have to put in all that effort of chasing everybody. They're coming to you.
So if I'm watching this and I'm stuck in my business and my marketing just isn't working, you know what I mean? I've been through the free webinars. I've been on Hangouts. I've been doing these things. That's why, obviously you're probably watching this right now, is because it's just not working. What is the number one solution for folks to be in this spot? What should they do?
Well, really, it all comes down to upgrading your marketing skills. That's what it comes down to. And in order for you to do that, you have to be willing, because of the fact that this is for your business, you have to be willing to make the investment in products or educational tools that can help you position yourself to upgrade those skills. Now, of course, you can go and learn little bits and tidbits from free things like this, where, Hangouts and things like that, but you're not going to get the full picture. You're not going to get the full scope. You're not going to get that hands-on experience from really digging deep into every single aspect of what marketing encompasses.
That's right.
And so,
no, right.
So I was just going to say, one of the major risks that a lot of people end up taking, right, is the fact that they don't ever upgrade their marketing skills, because they feel they can learn it on their own.
Or they're already seeing a little bit of success, in which I heard the other day from an audio I was listening to, said that a lot of times people feel any kind of success, that they feel any kind of success, they now feel an excuse to stop learning. So, I mean, it's literally the moment that you start, just don't let that be the reason why you're not going to upgrade. Like we said, it's not beginning, it's upgrading. So no matter where you're at right now in your journey of business entrepreneurship, you can always upgrade. You can always upgrade.
And that's also, he touched base on something that's very important for every entrepreneur, every business builder to understand, is that your education for your business should never stop. That's because things are changing. What was working on Facebook today is not going to work on Facebook tomorrow. What works on advertisements is not going to, today is not going to work tomorrow. There's no guarantee of a specific strategy working every single day for years to come. That's why it's so important for anyone who's building a business, whether it's online or offline, which you should actually be doing both. It's so important for you to accept the fact that you have to continue your education and continually upgrading the skills that you have, so that even when the strategies change, the foundation is there. So it won't affect you when something does change, because that you've built the foundation, you've got the fundamentals that you can adjust to whatever the change is without it negatively impacting your business. And
when you get done, when you learn these things and you actually apply them and you start to see the results, that is what is going to separate you from everybody else, which will now you'll be able to look at yourself and say, you know what, I'm a top producer. I'm somebody who is able to be inside the industry, inside of my business, who is producing at the top of their game. And if you're not right now being a top producer, if you're not producing at the top of your game, if you're not, if you're not doing things the way that you want to be doing them and seeing the results that you should be doing, then you can't call yourself a top producer, can you?
You can't really call yourself a successful business builder either.
No, but there's always a way to upgrade your skills, just like how we did. A year ago, we did not have any success in our business. We couldn't do anything.
We knew squat.
Top producers, yeah, right. There was no way. And so that's why we're here in front of you today, because there's something that we were to take advantage of, which is going to be, I don't know where the link is. I think the link is. Oh,
I forgot. I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to turn the showcase on. Let me put that up for you.
And so that right there, that's going to be the top producer formula for you to get your hands on. That's going to give you instant access to some training that's going to show you exactly what we were just talking about in more detail. Difference between online building, offline building, difference in attraction marketing and indirect sales and direct sales, how to bring 2 people into your business every single day, on call, on demand, just doing a few simple steps. Now, mixing and matching what we just taught you with that top producer formula, your business will be taken to the next level. We are saying that because it's taken our business to the next level.
And not just ours, but anyone we know that we've been able to be a part of their growing journey as well for their business, when they've tapped into any of the products or services that we've gone through and that we recommend, we get to see them go through the exact same change to where they position themselves to, like he said, as a top producer. That's why we decided to name this product, or our company decided to name the product Top Producer Formula, because it's a formula designed to take you from the 97% of people who don't tend to take their business seriously online to the 3% who become top producers who do.
That's right.
And so the link is now up. You should see it on your screen. It should be over to the side. And what all you have to do, guys, is just go through the process of activating your account and then upgrading to the top producer formula, because you're going to get all that information he was talking about that you can apply both online and offline. And
Plus,
you can, yeah.
Plus, you're going to be able to get coaching from us.
Yep.
That is going to be a big deal, because those kind of coaching values, I mean, we've ranged anywhere from $250 to $1,000 per session that we've been able to give out to people just for sitting down with us for our time. So these are things that we give just for free to our, you see our daughter back there. Sorry if that's distracting anybody. But these are things that we are able to give to our team as a bonus, as an added feature, being that top producer and taking action and saying, you know what? I'm done with being part of that 97%, and I'm ready now to be part of those top producers in that 3%, because I don't want to sit back and wait for results. I want to make things happen, and I'm ready to do that today. Mm-hmm. And so if that's you, we encourage you to click that link, because we want to work with those top producers. We want to work with the people who are on their way to the top. And there's going to be a lot of commitment, and we do require some things, but that's going to be all said and done on the back end. We just want you to make sure that you're comfortable moving forward with us. So if you found any kind of value in what we did today, then click the link, because we'll be able to work with you direct. I'm sorry, I get a little mouthy. And then
you want to give us some keys?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay.
And she's distracted me.
Sorry. Well, guys, look, like Brandon told you, we're here because we want to provide the value for you guys, but our ultimate goal is so that we can work with you to help you position your business to seeing the most results that you want to have your business have for itself. And so, the reason why we present the opportunity for you to join our team and to grab your copy of the top producer, or grab up to the copy of the top producer formula, is because the fact that, look, guys, the risk you take now, of course, anytime someone puts something for sale in front of you, the first reaction is always like, okay, well, what's going to cost me? Like, what's the risk? Well, the risk in not making this decision is that you're going to never be able to upgrade your marketing skills, and you're going to continue to have to chase after people. You're going to continue having the least successful results in your business that you could possibly have. Whereas with us, we're actually offering you an opportunity to have a low risk, if none at all, with what we have to share with you, because we have a 14-day money-back guarantee on our products and services, that if you plug into what we have to offer, and for some reason it's just not clicking for you, and you don't see the value in not only what our products have to offer, but in our coaching for your growing process, then all you have to do is within that 14-day period is ask for a refund, and we give you every single penny back with no hesitation, because we're not in this to take money from you. We're not in this so that we can say, oh, we got another one. No, we're here to be with you, to help you grow your business, to help you grow into seeing the results you want, so that you can position yourself to live the life of ultimate time freedom and ultimate financial freedom. And the way to do that is to start by upgrading your skills.
That's right. And so there's no reason to even go on any further. We've done, I think, a great job today with providing you with some awesome value and the difference between indirect marketing and direct marketing. And so if you're not having the balance in the two, make sure to start implementing them both. If you would love to work with us, we'd love to work with you. The link's right there. And make sure to come back tomorrow, because we're going to be on this thing again, sharing some awesome tips on how to hopefully increase your revenue, and so that you can actually start making more money in your business.
Yeah. And if there's something that you guys are struggling with in your business that maybe you'd like to ask us to talk about for one of the hangouts, feel free to connect with us and shoot over the struggles that you're experiencing, and we'll put that on our hangout roster. Okay.
That's right.
So we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Everybody take care.